It's so exciting that you brought that up, because I did have a coaching client at one point that was a great procrastinator. And what we do is we use pain and pleasure, which are two forces that we really do pay attention to in our life. We're either moving towards pleasure or away from pain. And 95% of us actually move away from pain. We think we're moving towards pleasure. Well, what happens is, see, let's say that your friends want you to go to a movie with them. And you go, oh, yeah, I've got to be with my friends. And yet you had a test in school. This is what happened with him. And he ended up going to the movie, and he didn't do so well on the test. And he goes, I have to learn to not procrastinate. And I knew that we had to make the pain of failing the test more brutal than the pain of missing out for the show. And so we have to play and trick our minds somewhat. So he went out with his friends, and I said, okay, now the test that's coming up is getting closer. What do you feel like when you fail that test? What do you have to tell your parents that are paying for college? What do you have to say? And I took him through all the pain of what happens when the test doesn't go well. And I say, now, you want to go to the movies with your friends? And he said, no. And he stayed home, and he actually studied for the test. And he said that one little exercise made such a difference in his life that he was able to go forward and even start talking to people about being an intern in their company. He's doing very well. He's gotten 3 promotions. He's since graduated from college. And I'm just so proud of who he has become. And it all started with him learning to play tricks with his mind, of making something more painful than pleasurable, right?
I love that. It reminded me of his story. I had a client that he couldn't get to the gym. He just really, every week he'd say, yeah, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. I said, listen, let's get some leverage. I said, what is it that you would never want to do, and that you're going to do if you don't get to the gym? And he says, well, eat a can of dog food. And I said, eat a can of dog food. I said, I don't think I want you to eat a can of dog food because I want you as my client. But I said, okay, you're on. You're going to have to eat at least a teaspoon of this thing to get he got to the gym. And he learned that piece. He went, okay, I will do this from here on out.
Isn't that the truth? I had someone that they didn't want to make phone calls.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do their league follow-up and make certain that they called people. And it was in real estate. It was so interesting because I said, well, what do you like to do on Saturday? Well, I play with my kids. And I go, well, if you don't make your calls by Friday, Saturday, you'll be making your calls. Yeah. And he agreed to it. And he said, oh, my goodness, Friday night, I was there till late making calls. I did not want to miss that time with my kids. So, yeah, we can help ourselves out. And it's all a mindset trick, isn't it, Ken? And we can have a liberating mindset.
It's a mindset trick. But here's the other part of the trick. And that is, there's a message in the Christian Bible where 2 or more are gathered, there I am. And I don't know, there's research now around this. There's science around this. It's like when you have 2 or more people together and holding each other accountable, you can have a coach and a client in that space, but there's something that happens between us. And it's, when somebody's holding you accountable, you step up into a greater way. And I know you've experienced that. I know I've experienced it. That's why I've had over 40 coaches in my life over a series of 30 years, because I know that without accountability, I'm going to go wander off somewhere. I'm going to go somewhere else. And not only that, I love the connections, but yeah. What do you say to that?
Well, it's like when you were talking about the gentleman going to the gym. If I'm going to the gym by myself, for heaven's sakes, a lot of times I just get up and I go, I don't feel like going to the gym this morning. I'll sleep in. Yet if I'm going to meet you at the gym, I'm going to go, because I'm not going to let you go and tell you I'll be there and not show up.